Welcome back. It's Adam from Two for Joy here, and I want to talk about Arne Slot and Liverpool losing to Bournemouth yesterday, and what seems to be the manager merry-go-round and the race to being sacked. And I just want to know, basically, from the Liverpool fans, whether you believe, like I did in the summer, that your transfer window wasn't good enough, and whether you agree now that it's time to let Arne Slot go. I mean, I did a video just after the transfer window ended and said, I don't think Slot's the man for Liverpool. I don't think your summer transfer window was good business. And I just want to know basically if you agree or if you don't, and let me know in the comments. But I've been going through your signings this summer and basically weighing up the options of who I would have signed rather than the players you did sign. And I'll start with Milos Kerkez at left back. And to be honest, you paid, where are we, 46 million euros for Milos Kerkez. And I genuinely believe Anthony Robinson from Fulham would have been a better signing. He's valued at around 25 million quid. He's 28 years old. He's better defensively, and I think he offers more going forward than Kerkez does. And then the right side, and we'll touch on Frimpong, 40 million euros. I don't believe Frimpong is as good a fullback as Connor Bradley. So I think it was a probably not the wisest spend, shall we say. But I would have looked at Daniel Munoz from Crystal Palace. I think he's a far superior player. He's better attacking, and as a fullback, he's a better defender. And he, again, is valued around 20 to 25 million pounds. And I know these players he's age 29. You probably get 3-4 years out of him. But with the setup that you've got at the back at the moment, it seems very fragile, and I think you needed some stability in there to be able to go out and find some younger players. And then going on to the players that you missed out on. Now, Mark Gahey, obviously going for 20 million quid. I think it's a travesty that Liverpool didn't go in and start a bidding war for that transfer. I genuinely believe Mark Gahey probably would have been the best signing you could have got. In the summer window and in this January window. And I personally think you funneled your money into the Isak transfer. And that's not me being salty, but I think that's why you missed out on Mark Gahey. And then I think you should have let Mo Salah go in the summer and brought in Anton Semenyo. Now, obviously, they've moved on. But going through the front line, I don't think your business was bad. I don't think Florian Wirtz is a bad signing. I think he's a really high price tag, but I'm fairly sure he will come good in time. And I think Hugo Ekitike, I mean, we wanted him at Newcastle. I think he's a fantastic player. I think he'll go on to be one of the best strikers in the Premier League. And I know a lot of people will think I'm salty about the Alex Isak transfer, and it still bothers me. I think you overspent on a player that I don't believe will come back and hit the heights that he did at Newcastle. I have the same issues, I think, with a lot of players bought across the Premier League, being bought in form. I mean, I'd say the same thing about Anthony Elanga. He looked fantastic at Forest. We bought an in-form player who hasn't been able to replicate what he did at Forest for Newcastle, and we paid well over the odds for him. And I think that is being seen across the Premier League with a lot of teams. But I still think, from what I said at the end of the transfer window, that you needed a DM. And that Gravenberch, I don't believe, is a DM. I believe he's a box-to-box midfielder. And I think while he can defend and while he's a very good defensive midfielder, he offers more. He has more ability than just being a DM. He can play going forward, and I believe that he's a good 8 rather than a 6. But the players that I think you should be looking at or should have looked at, Adam Wharton And while I believe his price tag may be too rich for you, because I think Crystal Palace will want somewhere around 80 to 100 million for him, and I think that's a lot of money for Adam Wharton. The two players I've got down is Paulinho, who went to Tottenham. I think he would have been ideal signing, or even a loan from Bayern Munich. He would have been perfect for your midfield. And Ruben Neves, who would have been available for around 30 million quid, would have been a much better fit for that Liverpool team. And while your defence, you still need a centre-back, and there are plenty of centre-backs across Europe who can offer more than, I believe, Virgil van Dijk. Although Van Dijk has that command of the centre-back role, I think he needs young legs around him. And most of all, I think the biggest problem is with your full-back position is your left-back not tucking in and giving him cover. The guy's, at the age he is, has lost the yard of pace, and he's being exposed. So, I mean, really, I think Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes fuck this transfer window up for you. But the big topic is obviously Arne Slot. Do you agree that it's now time to let Arne Slot go? And obviously, with links being there for Xavi Alonso, and I think you'd be silly not to sack Slot now and put everything into getting Xavi Alonso. I mean, he's obviously not had the best time in Spain at Real Madrid, but we all know his time at Leverkusen, and I genuinely believe the guy's a tactician, and it's what Liverpool need at the moment. You need a freshen up. You need to change the rot that is going on. And the performances, it's not just Arne Slot, but the performances on the pitch haven't been good enough from key leaders in your team. And I think that is down to players losing faith in the management. So let me know in the comments what you think. Get involved. It's a good topic to talk about. Obviously, there's the big thing of Thomas Frank. Should he be out as well? And I believe he's probably run his course. And it wouldn't surprise me if Tottenham held on. And I think Tottenham will actually go for Oliver Glasner at the end of the season and try and take him from Palace. And my hot takes are that I don't believe that Oliver Glasner will fix things at Tottenham. I think there's an inherent problem with the squad and the players that they've bought. And again, with the DMs, so Adam Wharton and Elliot Anderson both being linked to Man City. And what I will say is my hot take for the summer is Elliot Anderson to Man City. Now, Marinakis wouldn't let Morgan Gibbs-White go for 60 million or for the release clause being met, and he managed to put the clampers on it and keep his player. Now, he is inherently hard to deal with, and Man City inherently don't spend big money. With 115 charges looming, and what I feel like that Mark Gahey signing being far too cheap, what I would say is, if you see Elliot Anderson leave Notts Forest and go to Man City for anything less than £80 million this summer, there is definitely still some dodgy dealings going on. But let me know in the comments. Get involved. Hopefully later on we will see a win for the Geordies. And hopefully, guys, I will catch you in the next one.